I'd like to do right now is bring on our keynote speaker. And we know him as our man downtown. When you say our man downtown, who are we talking about? That's right. And this man, of course, has been in our community for a long, long time. But you don't just believe what you've heard about him. He is a man that says it, he shows it, he does it. He has done so many things for our community. He serves as chairman of Dallas County Civil Service Commission. He is the founder and president of Kwanzaa Fest. That's one of my favorite things, and that's one of his favorite things, too. And I'm not going to go on to the break of dawn. That's why he walked into the stage. I know him. So y'all, give a nice warm welcome for our Dallas County Commissioner, John Wiley Price.
Thank you, Lynn, and to Cecil Armstrong and Lynn Hayes, to all of you who are assembled here this evening, and especially to chief artists. I don't think we give enough recognition and understand in government what brothers or sisters who are in position have to compete with. A budget of over $300 million. 2,100 individuals in the sworn force, another 200 individuals who are part of the civilian crew. 59 fire stations, getting ready to build your 60th one, number 8 or 9th in this country. And so, Chief, I come tonight saying congratulations, but I want to go one step further. I want to deal with the city manager who had the courage to put people in positions, regardless of what you think tonight in politics. One thing is certain, by the way, those of you who are not from here, this coming Monday, early voting starts. I'm not on the ballot, so I can do this little disclaimer. For 2 weeks, you get a chance to early vote. And election day is November 8th. I guess what bothers me is as we sit here tonight and we talk about celebrating 50 years, as we talk about Henry Majors, I've been with all of these presidents. I was here when they were taking Ken Parker's mattress off of his bed and putting it on the driveway. I'm not here tonight. I understand the celebration, the commemoration, but we need to understand where we are. And I don't think we do. We don't have a sense of urgency. I've been with these brothers and sisters over the years. As I sit at the table with the first African-American sister to be a firefighter in Dallas, Miss Brown, I sit there with her tonight. I can't even imagine. I can't imagine what she went through. And then we sit here tonight and it drives me nuts every time I go to an organization and a presentation and we have the Black National Anthem and African people, oh say can you really see? You still can't see because you need the words. Full of a faith that the dark path has taught us, full of a hope that the present has brought us. Stony the road we trod. That's what we're talking about tonight. Bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died, but yet with a steady beat, hath not our weary feet come to a place, and our fathers and our mothers didn't sigh, they died. We have come over a way with tears have been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered, the blood of Malcolm and Martin. We act like we forget. Jewish folks don't ever forget. Ask Ye or Kanye or whatever the hell his name is. You ask them, they don't forget. But we act like we forget. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far along the way, thou who hast by thy might led us into the light. Keep us forever in the path, we pray, lest our feet stray from the places, my God, where we met thee. Lest our hearts are drunk with the wine of this world, we forget thee. The shadows are beneath our hand. That means time is running out. May we forever stand true to our God, true to our native land. Chief Artist, you and your executive staff, thank you. Chief Bright, my hero, when a brother who takes and puts Kenneth Parker's photo, not in South Dallas, but on Northwest Highway. You're going to always be my hero, brother. And so tonight, I just want to take a second to talk about the fire next time. In a recent Dallas Morning News article delivered a message that we are accustomed to. And once again, African American and black officers were hit with racism. The basis of the article said, and I quote, challenge coin are typically commemorative used by many organizations, especially law enforcement, to boost morale and camaraderie, but officers will exchange them amongst one another. Dallas Police Chief Eddie Garcia said, this design stains and tarnishes the work of the Dallas Police Department. It depicts a drug-dealing character named Doughboy who is holding an assault rifle, cash, wearing gold teeth. It also has a car with giant gold rims facing off with a Dallas Police Department vehicle. The Dallas Police Department said it's investigating this challenge coin made by a white officer that the head of the Dallas Police Association, Black Police Association, has called racist. What will they put on your coin? I'm not going to hold you long tonight. So my message for you tonight is a simple statement. The fire next time. You're here to commemorate 50 years of standing for justice in this community. You've always had to fight fires, but I came to ask you tonight, are you ready for the fire next time? Many of you will realize that my subject is not original. The fire next time was heralded by the late work of great James Baldwin. But unfortunately, Baldwin was sick and tired of this American brand of racism. And he had to take a hiatus. So from 1945 to 1957, 9 years, Baldwin lived in Paris. It has been said that Dr. King's movement brought him back to the States. He returned home and was an ardent working for civil rights struggle. He was a warrior until he died in 1987. But The Fire Next Time is a non-fictional book by James Baldwin in 1963 during the civil rights march and extreme violence against blacks who demanded their civil rights and their human rights. They lived in a society that struggled with a legacy of slavery, racism, and white supremacy. And the reason I began tonight talking about voting, nobody else had to pay poll tax. I know these young folks don't know what we're talking about, but hell, you done forgot. Nobody else had to take literacy tests. How many hairs on the dog's back? I know you ain't picked up the book yet. And here we are. We begging y'all to go and vote. I don't know about none of these other communities, but in Dallas, 2.6 million people, 1,800,000 who are 18 years of age and older, 1,400,000 registered to vote, and we never had more than 800,000 people vote in Dallas. What are we doing? Look what's in the headlines and policy now. They want to take and extinguish the 2 weeks of early voting. When we open on Monday, we're going to go 85, and then Saturday you can go vote. And then Sunday you can go vote. Then the next week you can go 7 to 7. And 60% of the vote is garnered in the early voting in Dallas County. We ain't going to even talk about mail-in ballots. But you don't understand that encroachment. And what I want young people to understand is the fight is not over. The fire next time. Are you going to be able to handle it? This time, my brothers, the fire may have been confined to the police department. But as I stand here tonight, I can tell you that the fire is waiting for black firefighters. So the question is, when you see the fire coming to you, what you gonna do? And I know that I'm talking to a few folks who don't believe me. They say, there he goes again. I don't know why y'all invite him. Y'all know white folks are all right. You just too sensitive, John. But my message to you tonight is the fire will come and you won't be able to avoid or ignore it. So let me explain to you like my hero, Gil Scott-Heron, not Jill. I know you young folks, Jill. It's Gil Scott-Heron. You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer doing commercials because the revolution will not be televised. The fire next time is guaranteed for not just black police officers, but black firefighters, because there's always a fire for black people. My daddy used to talk about 100-yard theory. He said it doesn't matter what language you speak. Doesn't matter how tall or short you are, or how much money you got. At 100 yards, they done already classified you. You think language is the issue? Language is not the issue. I would be remiss if I didn't begin by paying my respects to the founder of this organization. And I just want to say tonight, as a bona fide bootleg preacher, I had to come with a passage of scripture. I want to use Daniel 3 for 2 reasons. First, most black churches enter a Daniel fast at the beginning of each year, and I don't know why you think you can cure hypertension and diabetes with 11 months of pork and 1 month of fresh vegetables, but to each his own. You know, that Daniel fast that y'all go on for 1 month? Secondly, most of you have heard about the 3 men and the fiery furnace. Even if you have a first grade Christian education, their names escape me, but I think my mama, Willie Faye, would say something like Shadrach, Meshach, and a bad Negro. So I come to you tonight to talk about what's going to happen. So let me just give you a little synopsis. The story of the fiery furnace from the book of Daniel is a memorable episode in the Old Testament. King Nebuchadnezzar condemns 3 black Jews. Don't miss that. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And he said to them, I want you to be burned alive. Throw them into the fiery furnace. And this is for all y'all who ain't going to get to church tomorrow. You may not know it, but that's what they do with Negroes they can't control. Like most absolute rulers, King Neb insisted on his subjects coming to the gold statue of himself that he had constructed to pay and do homage for him, and by association Nebuchadnezzar himself. And those who falleth not down and worshiped shall not in that same hour be cast in the midst of the burning fiery furnace. How many of y'all in a furnace and just don't even know it? How many of y'all even have an idea of what's going on in the department? I know y'all expect chief artists to make some special dispensations. Let me tell you something. Y'all's department, I know y'all already know this, 17 to 20% African American, 58% white, 22% Hispanic. And you've had the last three have been brothers who led this department? That speaks to your ability to collaborate and bring others along. This ain't about you. This is about what if you die tonight, what will they say? You were a firefighter? Really? Did you help anybody else? But here we are. I'm going to give you 3 lessons, and I'm going to sit down. Lesson 1, quit bowing down to the king. If you know who you are, stop bowing down. You're not the first person with ability to be a firefighter. You're the first person with opportunity because somebody like Henry Majors and others made that opportunity available. I don't ever get caught up. Malcolm X said, what do you call a black man with a PhD? And he ain't the N-word. Listen to Daniel 3:17. If it be so, our God, whom we serve, is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thine hand, O king. Faith and fear can't dwell. If you scared, go home. Because let me tell you something. A scared joker will get you hurt. Okay? I don't care where y'all running up in a fire together, where y'all supposed to be watching your back. A scared joker will get you hurt all the time. Faith and fear can't dwell in the same temple. Lesson 2, you must know your power and your strength. Maya Angelou said you can practice all the virtues in the world, but if you don't practice the virtue of courage, nothing else matters. Don't be scared. Yeah, screw. Got you. Fannie Lou Hamer survived because she had power. She had courage. Don't get caught up. As I go to my seat, we got all these young folks coming along who don't have a clue. I told somebody today, 1860, Dallas, downtown Dallas, was burned to the ground. They will tell you it was about abolitionists. But if you do your research, it was a slave revolt. And so when Uncle Sam and Cato and Pat were hung right by the Triple Underpass in Martyrs Park, it was because of a slave revolt. Reverend Denmark Vesey, Reverend Nat Turner, Reverend Gabriel Prosser. What are we doing? These were preachers. If you're sitting up every Sunday and you're not listening to somebody who's talking to you about getting free, you need to change churches. What are we doing? What are we doing in Dallas? Black firefighters, I've sat here and watched you all these years. I've watched you labor in these venues. But I'm going to tell you something. I just told you, you had 3 chiefs. I'm not going to tell you this is the end of the road. But other people are going to start saying, it's my time. Then where you going to be? I know you think, you need to understand where we're up against. You really need to understand. And you need to protect people who protect you. They ain't going to always agree with you 100%. I said as chairman of civil servant, they coming out with some of that nonsense. I'm like, come on. We have got to understand, without a vision, the people perish, and we better be looking out the end. Because let me tell you something, that train is coming, and we on the track. You think people ain't sitting around saying that the last 3 chiefs been black? And Chief Bright can tell you we had to go to war for his. What are you doing? What will your 51st look like? You shouldn't have been able to get in here tonight. I don't know how many young folks are really in here, but you've got to help them. You've got to help them understand that it's just a matter of time. I never thought I'd live to see what I'm seeing in politics today. Unbelievable. Obama would have been, they went crazy just because Obama put on a tan suit. They lost their mind because this man put on a tan suit. This fool here done raped the treasury, But he put on a tan suit and they went nuts. You think about it. What does it look like from where you are? I know they said, well, I don't know why y'all invited him. Well, that's all right. You ain't got to invite me back. I've been hanging around for years. All I'm telling you is that now is a time. The fire next time, you're not going to be able to handle it.